So now we're going to look at the types of strokes you can use when returning serves. There's three main categories. First, there's the push. Secondly, there's the flick or the flip. And then thirdly, you can attack the ball either with a top spin or a counter hit.
So when do we use these different strokes? When the serve is short, then you've got two options. You can push the ball or you can flick or flip the ball. So what is a short serve? A short serve is a serve that's going to bounce at least twice on your end of the table. So that means it makes it difficult to attack because it's hard to swing through properly to attack the ball. So short serve, at least two bounces on your side of the table. So for that, you need to move in and you can make the push or the flick. So the short serve can have different types of spin. If there's a lot of backspin on the short serve, your best option is to push the ball back. With the push, you've got the bat at the right angle to get the ball back on the table. If they've got side spin on the serve, or no spin, or top spin, that's the time that you can start to think about making the flick or the flip. So for the heavy backspin, use the push. For side spin, or no spin, or top spin, you can start to make the flick. So with Jeff serving short backspin, my first option is to push the ball back. By pushing the ball, I've got the bat at the right angle to counter the backspin. I can also push the ball long and fast. You can also flick the backspin, but you need to open the angle of your bat to counter the backspin. If Jeff serves topspin, it's easiest to flick the ball because you're coming over the top of the ball and bringing the topspin down. A difficult option is to push that topspin serve back. It requires a bit of touch and feel to get that ball low and short enough. So you require really soft hands and a very vertical bat angle. Off the side spin serve, you need to alter the angle of your bat to make sure the ball's going straight back on the table. Jeff can also put backspin with his side spin, which means that I need to lift the bat up and angle it for the side spin. If Jeff puts side spin and top spin, I need to come over the top and again change the angle for the side spin. The short no spin serve can be difficult to deal with. Again, you need a good touch to keep the ball short on the other side. Keep your hand really nice and relaxed and come quite vertical down the back of the ball. You can also flick the no spin serve. So remember, your options off a short serve are to push short, to push it long, or to flick. So off the tomahawk serve and the pendulum serve and even the backhand serve, it's almost a given that there'll be a little bit of side spin on the serve. So with the tomahawk, it's difficult to do it without any side spin on it. So what I'm watching for when I'm receiving the tomahawk serve is whether it has a bit of top spin on it, or it has a bit of backspin on it, or whether it's basically just pure side spin. But it's a given that there's going to be side spin on the serve. The same thing with the pendulum serve. I see that there's going to be side spin on the serve, whether it's a little bit or a lot, but then what I'm watching for is whether there's backspin on it or topspin on it. So based on whether there's backspin or topspin on that serve, I'm going to decide what type of return I'm going to make. Now, it's a given that I'm going to expect side spin on it, which I need to counter. So it's short backspin, I'm going to push the ball back short. Short topspin, I'm going to flick. No spin, flick. Backspin, flick. Oh, heavy backspin. Flick was difficult. Push is easier. Backspin, short push. Flick that topspin serve. Tomahawk topspin, I'm going to flick it. Tomahawk backspin, short push. Tomahawk topspin, flick. Tomahawk backspin, short push. Tomahawk backspin, long push. Pendulum backspin, oh, good serve. Pendulum backspin, pendulum topspin, flick. Pendulum backspin, no spin, flick. Pendulum no spin, flick. Pendulum backspin, ooh, short push. So let's look at the long serve. So a long serve is a serve that's going to bounce only once on your side of the table. So if they serve it, bounces once on your side, the next bounce would be off the table onto the floor. So off this type of serve, what we want to do is we want to try and attack that serve, either with a topspin or a counter hit. Now, the reason that we can attack it is because that second bounce is off the table, which means that we can swing through a lot easier to make your attacking stroke. So, off the long serves, we're going to try and topspin the return in most cases. So, what type of topspin do we make? That depends on the type of spin that's on the ball. So, whether there's that backspin or whether there's topspin. And again, we're going to give that most of the time there's going to be side spin on it. So if there's backspin on this long serve, I'm going to have a more vertical stroke to lift the backspin. If there's topspin on this long serve, I'm going to go more forward to make sure the ball doesn't go off the end of the table and goes down onto the other person's side of the table. So off a really heavy spun long serve, what you want to do is brush the ball really finely. That will start to get the ball moving in the direction you want it to. So if it's spinning really fast with side spin this way, by touching it very fast, it's going to put your own spin on the ball. So that will convert all of that side spin into the top spin, and then you'll be able to get the ball to go where you want it to go. If there's a lot of spin on the ball and I have a thick contact on it, the spin's going to fly away. But if I just touch the ball very lightly and put my own spin on it, then the side spin's going to have less effect. So let's have a look. So heavy serve, just touch the ball lightly and I'm going to put my own spin on the ball. So here I'm putting just some heavy top spin on it. And the side spin doesn't really have any effect at all. Whereas if I hit the ball thickly, without spin, the ball flies off sideways. So if you're unsure of the spin on the ball, the worst thing you can do is try and guide the ball back, because that way the ball is staying on your racket for a long time and all the effect of the spin is coming into play. The best thing you can do is to be a little bit more decisive and spin the ball yourself, or hit the ball a little bit faster. So you want less time of the ball on the racket, and by spinning it heavily, you're giving the ball its own spin and its own direction, rather than relying on the amount of spin that's on the serve. So let's have a look at these long serves. So I need to make sure I'm positive with these returns. Making sure I've got nice speed with my racket to counter any spin that Jeff's putting on the serve. So that's side spin with backspin. Backspin into my backhand. No spin. I'll move across and make that top spin. Need to be decisive with my return. Lots of speed on the racket to counter any spin Jeff's got on. So topspin is what we want you to work towards. So every time the ball comes long on the serve, we want you to get there and try and topspin the return. Now, in a match situation, if you're losing a few too many points, to start off with, what you can do is think about pushing or chopping or blocking that return. Now, remember though, eventually we want you to aim towards being able to topspin those returns, because that will put you into a much better attacking position. Pushing, chopping and blocking gives your opponent the chance to attack you. So off long topspin serves, you can block or counter the return. The important part here though is to make sure that you're placing the ball well. Otherwise it'll be very easy for your opponent to attack. So just use Jeff's topspin to block the ball back. All the time I'm naturally countering for this little bit of side spin that Jeff's got on the serve. So with long backspin, the best way is to either push or chop the return. So here, the principles of the rudder come into effect. So with that side spin, backspin serve, I need to have the bat nice and open so that I'm countering the backspin, and then I need to angle the bat to the side to counter the side spin as well. The next principle here is, because you're playing a defensive stroke, it's really important to try and get the ball lower over the net. So in a match situation, your first option is to try and make the strong topspin. If it's not working, then you could try the push or the chop. But remember, in a practice situation, what you're aiming for is to practice your topspin. Commit to the stroke, try and do a nice heavy spinning topspin and get your bat moving nice and fast to counter the spin on the serve.